Hello, welcome to another How to Code Well video tutorial. My name is Peter Fisher and today we're going to focus on updating records from a MySQL table. So we're in the console right now and I'm going to do a quick select all from customer. Now this is going to return all of the records in the customer table. We can see that we have 7 records, 7 rows in this table, and all of the records have the is_active value set to 0. Okay, so let's go and change some of these records to have a different value of the isActive field. But before we do that, we need to find out what value we can actually set it to. So we do a describe of the customer table. So this is going to bring back the schema of the customer table. And from the schema, we can find out that the is_active field has a data type of an integer with a size of 1. This means that we can set it to 1 or 2 or 3, but we can't set it to something like 300 or 5,000 or anything that is larger than 1 character. Okay, so, and we can't set it to a varchar, so we can't set it to a string, for example. So let's clear the screen and let's run an update. So I'm just going to select all from customer again. Now let's just update one of these records. Okay, so in order to do that, we would run an update query, and we want to supply the name of the table that we wish to update. So in this case, it's going to be customer, and we want to supply the set keyword. And then after the set keyword, we need to supply the fields and their values, or the new values that we want to update them to. So in this case, it's is_active. And then we're going to equal that to the new value that we wish to set. So in this case, I'm going to set the isActive field to 1. So I'm just going to run that and I'm going to see what happens. Okay, so let's press enter and we can see that 7 rows were actually affected, 7 were matched and 7 were changed. So the reason why 7 rows were altered was because we didn't supply the where clause. So when we've done the update customer set isActive to 1, we've actually gone and updated all of the records and set all of the is_active fields to have a value of 1. So it's very important that when you go and update records in MySQL, you need to supply, or you need to reduce the query by only the records that you want to change. Okay, otherwise you'll do what I've just done and update all of the records. And I can show you that by, if I was to do a select, we can see that they've all now been changed to 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put them back to be, put them all back to 0. And let's run that so we can see that they're all set to 0. And let's just focus on the second record here, the second row. Okay, so how do we go about only updating the isActive field, the value, and changing that to be 1 just for that record? Well, in order to do that, we would run the update again. We'd set that to 1, but we would also supply a where clause. Now this is going to reduce the query by whatever matches the where clause, and the next thing we need to give the where clause is a field that we want to reduce it by. So in this case, it's going to be the ID. And we're going to choose the ID because that's the primary key, and the primary key is the unique identifier. It's auto-incrementing, which means that for every record that's been added to the database, we can almost guarantee, pretty much guarantee that the value will always be incremented, and therefore there won't be a value of the same, there won't be an ID with the same value. So we can safely say that where ID is equal to 2 will only change this record here. Okay, so we're going to update the customer, we're going to set the isActive field, we're going to set that value to be 1, but we're only going to do it to the record that has the ID that has that value of 2. So let's run that and we can see, yes, only 1 row has been affected, 1 was matched and 1 was changed. So let's clear the screen and run the select again, and we can see that only that record has been changed. Now we can update multiple fields in one query. So we would do that by running, and let me just change that to 3. So let's just focus on the record with the ID of 3 now, and we're going to set that to be is_active of 1, but we're also going to have a comma, and then we're going to add or supply another field another value to change. So in this case, we're going to set the first name. We're just going to set that to be test. Now I know that this value is a varchar, so it's a string. Okay, so this should work. So let's run the enter and then select. So yeah, we can see that the ID of 3 has the first name changed to test, and it's also is active value has also been changed to 1. Now also note that the updated underscore date also gets changed whenever the values get altered, and that's because if I was to clear the screen again and just go back to describing this customer, we can see that the updated underscore date has a extra setting on update. It changes the value to the current timestamp. This means that for every update of a record, its updated underscore date gets changed to the current timestamp, and that current timestamp is based on the time that the query was ran. Okay, so that's how you would update records in a MySQL table. Thank you for watching. Please click the like button if you found it useful, and make sure to subscribe to get the next tutorial. If you have any comments, questions or queries, then please leave them in the comments section below. Alternatively, you can tweet them to my Twitter handle, which is PFWD. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.